Welcome to the No Plan B podcast. My name is René Weimann, and today we're on with Levi Levine and, of course, Joe Asbury. Please introduce our guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you this dude from NYC got a cold handle, boy, this boy right here will cross your ankles, break your shit, and have you right in somebody's ICU, buddy, trying to dodge that COVID right now. Man, Levi. Mr. Levi, what's good, homie? How you doing, bro?
Everything gravy. Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, beautiful, man. Beautiful. Well, let's get into it, man. Like I said, man, for the viewers that understand anything about street ball, you got to understand that the first time I saw Levi play, man, I knew, that he was a pro, and I had heard all the rumors about he was a really great player when he played here in Germany, and it's a hoe. But to be able to see it firsthand at a street ball tournament and to watch him handle that ball, man, when I tell you that he's one of those guys that really puts that ball on a string, and I really love it because a lot of guys, they can't make the transition from, the New York street ball scene to professional basketball. And Levi, went on, he played college ball and was a pro and all that. So, but let me back up. I just want to put that out there. So when did this journey all begin, man? When did you first fall in love with this basketball we all love?
Man, I started playing at 4 years old. I grew up in the Polo Grounds. That's like one of the biggest projects in Harlem. And right across the street is the Rucker Park, So my building was building number 1. And out of 30 stories, I lived on the 29th floor. So I had like perfect view of the games if I didn't go with my brother, basically.
Wow, that is unbelievable, man. And let me tell y'all, man, back in the days, I played in Mosswood Park in Oakland, and that's like in Oakland, California. That's our big street ball area and street ball scene. But I mean, Let's keep it real. Anybody that knows anything about street ball knows that, man. The Rucker is just, it's just the
epicenter.
The basketball haven. It's the basketball haven. But let's keep going, man. So, all right. So how did it work out did you do high school? I mean, I know you did high school, but did you go on the AAU circuit? How'd that go for you?
So basically, I didn't really know what was going on, to be honest with you. I played street ball every day. I wasn't a part of any real teams, maybe something on the side up until 16 and 15, 16. And then I also played for a team called FYA, which was in Brooklyn. It was a small AAU team, which I played with them a little bit before that. But I was really just a street ball player. I never really understood how to be under the whistle. I was real wild, frustrated, but talented. And my boys, Malik McCullough and Marvin McCullough, and their father, they have the each one teach one basketball. His father is Bob McCullough. He played in the NBA. So they basically took me to the New York Gauchos. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. And simultaneously, which is also lets me know it's just my fate, my coach, Rob Horford, at the time, because I was in the public high school, he just approached me about going to prep school. I didn't even know that existed. Literally, I didn't know anything about it. So all of this just happened in over 1 year in the summer. My friends took me there, and next thing I know, I'm playing on a team with guys like Royal Ivy, who played with, the OKC Thunder, and Peter Mulligan, who was like Mr. Basketball in New York City. You know what I mean? And other guys as well. So that's when I first, saw the AAU scene. I think that was probably 98. And then I saw Paris in 99 because we went on a trip with Lenny Cook and a street ball legend called Adrian Butter, A. Butter. His name is Adrian Walton. And we all basically went to, let's say, like a trip where other players like Stephon Marbury did before us, and they would just play in certain cities and sign autographs. So that was like the first time I signed an autograph, at 16 in Paris. I'm like, yo, what is this? I didn't know that this basketball world existed, literally. So man, that was awesome. How it started for me.
That is awesome, bro. And man, shout out to Lenny Cook. That dude was a damn savage for real, bro. But you've been around some hogs, bro. So let's talk about college, man. How was that experience for you? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, college was great. I mean, I did 2 years in prep school, played with Francisco Garcia and against a lot of other people in the New England area. And then my coach still recruited me from prep school, but he was following me since I was like 14, and I didn't know it. So the experience was tough because I transitioned from not knowing anything, starting to learn everything, and then having to really get my body in shape, get disciplined. School was never a problem, but to balance everything, you have to learn that. Professionalism, they teach us in college, you know what I mean? All of this stuff we had to do simultaneously while we're learning, getting in shape, trying to be humans, also, with our family and everything. So college was a great experience because you get an opportunity to live and be yourself, find yourself, make new friends. And then when you play basketball, in D1, I went to the University at Albany. When I went there, they just moved into the first league, into NCAA 1. They was first they started in the third, and then they moved to the second, and then they moved to the first league. So when I got there, they was 1 year removed from the second NCAA. And my coach, Will Brown, was 31 years old. So he was cursing us out and calling us all sorts of names on the court and stuff like this, So in the beginning, we had nothing. The school mostly relied on the football and track, which they won all the time. They already had a winning tradition, but basketball, our lockers was really old and decrepit. So the first 2 years, it was like 8 wins out of 40 games. We was getting thrashed, but we were learning the hard way. And things start to turn when we received some new coaches. Coach Eric Eaton, he came, Pat Fillion, and then 2 other coaches, I'm forgetting the names, which is very bad, but I'm bad with names. Basically, when they came and instilled a winning tradition, with like, we would just walk into the locker room and there would be quotes on the wall, and I'm like, whoa, okay. And this is the type of stuff that we started to live. So I became the captain of the team because I was focused. Literally, if I'm in practice, I'm focused. I don't play around. But I also have my frustrations, So my coach really helped me to learn how to channel my frustrations and my energy to really focusing on keeping the team disciplined. And that led us in 2 years to have like the best record the school ever had. We had a German center named Kirsten Sorner. We had a bunch of other transfers come in. And with those coaches, we won the championship in 4 years, And we got to the America East Conference, and we beat Vermont, who a couple years before was running the league. They had players that's NBA level, guys that played in overseas, making a lot of money. And then we go in the last year and play against UConn, against, who we played, Florida, that national championship team with Horford and Brewer and Nick Kalaitis. Like, we had a lot of experience that year. We ended up playing against a lot of high-level teams. So the college experience was amazing. It taught me a lot. It allowed me to grow. It showed me a lot about the basketball world and what it takes to become pro and to be professional.
Yeah, that is beautiful, man. Thanks for sharing that, bro. And so let's fast forward to the pro ranks, man. You know what? I tell you what, I have so much respect for you, man. Not only on the court, but off the court too. And you and Demetrius Ward, because I always say the same thing. Let me put it out there. Levi was not only a professional player here in Germany, he was also the head coach and a player at the same time. And that's one thing that Big Slim could never do, because Renee, if I'm the player coach and you're on my team, bro, you're going to be pissed off at me because I'm going to take 50 shots.
Right.
I'm not passing and I'm not playing defense.
I'm a little different. I'm a little different. A lot of people sometimes feel uneasy around me because I'm always talking. They don't want to hear what we need to do to be successful. And that's the difference between a winning team and guys that don't know how to win. When I did this with my college team, we won. Everyone listened. When you try to do this on teams with people that don't know how to win, they complain and make excuses and then make you seem as if you're the wrong person. But in actuality, you know what it takes to win.
Exactly, bro, man. Yeah, preach it, bro, preach it. Anything what you want to throw in there, Renee? Let me let my partner get in here.
I mean, what a story. You must have learned basketball in a very natural way. It was just a game for you when you were young, growing up in New York in the early 90s. I mean, the city was changing a lot during that time from all the violence in the 80s. What lessons did you learn from the very early years? Was there some special stories, something when you think about Rucker Park, what's maybe one thing that happened there where you learned something, or something that you have in mind when you think about your childhood? Because that's a very special thing we have that covered here.
For sure.
Well, the thing is, I can relate a lot of my motivations to wanting to play in the Rucker Park when I was young. When I was young, I don't really remember all the times because I started at 4. You know
Of
what
course,
I mean? So I don't remember all the times in the park. But even after I went to prep school, I went to college, every summer, from the time I went to prep school, it was always like, oh, I want to play in a Rucker. Every player wants to play in a Rucker. So it's like you are not only trying to get better just for basketball, but when you play street ball, you're trying to play in the best tournaments. You know what I mean? This is basically what you're trying to do. I should have worn my EBC jersey just to
just to floss on these fools. Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, to chop these fools' heads off.
But it's like, that means a lot to us, because as kids, you just run in the streets not really understanding what's going on. You just going to school or you going to the store and you might get robbed. Or your friend might have nobody in his house. I had a friend when I was young, as we walked, he would just start having seizures and just start walking off. And we would literally have to protect him. It made me realize that there's different people all coming together for one common goal. And you would forget all the stuff that you had outside, all the stuff that I had to endure by myself. I had to go through a lot of stuff by myself. My family, and not only me, is broken. A lot of kids that grow up in the inner city, whether mostly Black, but whether they're Black or Hispanic or white, the broken family in New York is a big, let's say, trauma for a lot of kids to deal with. So we have to find some tool or something to get our minds off it. And for me, Rucker was just like something like, okay, I got to get better for that. I got to play in that. I have to. Because when I was young, we played in it in the daytime, no problem. But the Rucker I'm talking about is when the lights come on and it's packed and it's a line and you got NBA players and you playing against college players and your boys is coming back from overseas and y'all all playing against each other. Like that for us is like everything on top of being a pro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it was motivation. Crazy. It was like savior for a lot of us.
Medicine, even a little bit of.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so that's a very special environment, and I'm sure, I'm 100% sure it there was deep love growing with basketball in you because of that. And,
definitely. I'm a passionate person, that's what a lot of people don't understand about me. And it's also something that people don't understand is that as humans, we're still trying to understand ourselves. So instead of us getting mad at each other and calling each other names, let's just realize if we can be around each other or not, or realize that somebody's going through something. They need attention. They need someone to talk to. They need something to do. And that's why I devote my time to working with the kids. A lot of coaches just want to be pro and get the status and coach there, coach here, coach there. But the kids, nobody's really working with the kids that will be talented in 10 years. That's not talented right now. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing that was like me, because I was a little chubby kid. So I had to really work. I had skill. I was tall, but I was chubby. I was slow. I didn't know what was going on. You got to know the culture. You got to be street smart. If you don't, things happen. So you got to learn it quick, or you go through some things. And I went through a lot of things, and then I learned it quick. And then you learn the people to get around. So, I mean, I'm moving throughout the city where there's Bloods here, Crips there, a Spanish gang there. And then, down this block, there's people that you just shouldn't mess with because they just inbreds or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like this is the environment that a lot of people grow up in. It's not only New York. New York is just really concentrated. It's like the most concentrated in the world. But I've met other people throughout the world who are just like me. So I devote everything I do to, teaching the kids that actually need that support to just grow as a person. And then you see the talent grow.
Oh, let me throw that in there too, man. What was it like to be that guy from NYC who went to go play in, what country is that, Romania? I don't want to, I want to say Romania. Yeah, I was thinking Bulgaria, but I want to say the proper name, Romania. What was that like, bro?
Man, it was, Romania is a beautiful country, you know. They have a lot of talent, but it's so much corruption in the sense that I had situations where I was brought over here and the coach knew he didn't have enough money only up until December. He didn't have enough to pay us the whole year, you know.
Wow.
You know, at first it started out real good. I got on the team. They paid me a lot of money. They brought in 7 foreigners. We got 2,000 people in the stands at night. But then they start going at the coach because he don't know how to make subs. He's playing us 10 minutes a quarter, 10 minutes first quarter, 10 minutes third quarter. I'm like, bro, this don't work. Yeah. Next thing you know, things just start going downhill. You know, they'll send you home just because they gotta open up a spot for somebody that is in another position.
Yeah.
And then they'll get rid of the whole team. Like, I've been in that situation. Like, you know, specifically here where I'm at now in Chu, I helped this team build because I was the first player and captain that they had when they came to the first league. Yeah. So I helped them build. And then, long story short, you know, I had to make plays and gather the team in the hotel because the coach was incompetent and he wouldn't do anything when it came time to really, in crunch time, to make good decisions. He couldn't. So we had to win as a team. We met, all of us, the Americans, the Hungarians, the Romanians, we gathered together, made our plays, and won, stayed in the first league. So then the second year comes, I'm like, hey, let me help you. I know everybody. I'm in Romania about 3 years. I know all the players. Let me help you make the team. You know what I mean? Oh, it's okay. I got it. Okay. Then they bring in a bunch of bums. We not winning. So they use a situation. This is what they do a lot. And it happens in Germany too. They use a situation where the president impedes on our night out on a Tuesday. He impedes on our night. This is a grown man. His wife is pregnant. She comes into the club like, basically, what are you doing here? And he tells her he's with us. I stay 1 hour. I'm not the kind of person that stays in a place I'm not feeling. So I leave. But I get the information. So the next morning, they try to make a new contract. I'm like, hold on. I'm the captain. I'm like, you can't do this.
Look, after a night out of shots, they want to make a new contract.
But it's because the president and his wife in a small town, this is a very small town, start to talk and the coach don't know what to do. So you take us people that are thousands of miles away from home and diminish us into your kids or your property, you know, and that, this is the type of things that happen in basketball too much.
Man, thanks for sharing that, bro, because there's so many young players out here that need to hear that think, you know, I mean, half these dudes don't have a resume. They never played in high school. They never played in college. And they really think that they're just going to run to Europe and come to a country like Romania or Poland or Switzerland or wherever, whatever, and make millions of euros. And it's just not, it's not realistic. You know what I mean? It's just not realistic.
It's not that simple either.
It's the typical European basketball craziness sometimes. I mean, you come in here, you get dropped into a completely new environment, completely new culture most of the time, no matter where you are, and every country is different. I mean, you could tell thousands of things that are even different between Romania and Germany, and in any case, and you have to be aware that very unlikely things might happen during your journey. And you have to be prepared, mentally prepared for that. You don't know what's going to happen. It can be good, it can be bad, but you never know.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, let me add this. Hey, man, I'm really proud of what you're doing with the kids too, man, because a guy with your high skill set to be able to give back to the kids. And I actually, Levi, for the listeners, Levi had me come into his basketball academy. And I was a guest speaker there. I had fun with those guys. Really great group of young guys, man. And I really love what he's doing. And let me put this out there. You know, there's a lot of people who are really on the personal trainer train right now. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because a lot of these guys in the basketball world, you know, they've never really done too much themselves with that ball, but you know, they sell kids a lot of pipe dreams and tell them, you know, the wrong things, hating on each other, talking crazy about other different personal trainers and things like that. But I don't want to get too much into the negativity. I just wanted to tell you, please shine the light on us, man, how much satisfaction you get from developing these young guys and girls that you're doing right now, bro.
Oh man, it really, you know, it really fills me with a big purpose, you know, and a drive, because like I said, I was that kid that didn't get attention. I was that kid that had to work hard, and then I saw the attention after I became talented and really start to show my potential. And there's a lot of kids like that get ignored in the nastiest way. It's okay to tell a kid, you know, you need more time or you got to work on this. They understand. You know, they're not, I don't know, you know, a dog that can't understand this English. They get it.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of coaches don't talk with the kids in the manner that they can understand so that they can grow their personality. It's not just about going out there and running on the court and doing what the coach says, you know, and the coaches have to realize that when you're developing the kids, you got to consider their age. You got to consider their deficiencies. You know, everyone's body is built a certain way. So you have to be able to pick this out with your eye and see small details. And not only that, is you have to understand that there's a person. They have a soul. Right. So the ego plays a big part in it. And that's why I only work with kids, because it is the perfect time for them to learn themselves instead of people telling them how they should be. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm in that situation still today. It happens today, and it happened when I was a kid. People tell you what you're supposed to do. No, I know what to do. I have experience. I don't need you to tell me what I should do. I didn't ask you. Yeah. You understand? So these kids are being, you know, told what to do from people that can't even get them in situations, that don't even understand what they're going through, that haven't even played ball long enough to see enough examples of personalities and situations and, you know, environments. You know, they don't get it. It's so much more to this game. You can't just jump in and coach this game like how you want, you know, and demonize other people for actually taking it seriously. So when I coach the kids, it really motivates me because I see myself in those kids. And I see a lot of these kids and what they go through when, you know, a coach just ignores them because they might be a little chubby right now. And then I work with them 3 years, and then they get great, and then everybody wants to take them. And then when we do what we should do is protect them from these people want to try to act as if we're the bad guy. No, hold on. I know this kid for 3-5 years. A lot of these kids, even when I'm working in Itzehoe, for example, when I was coaching, they start bringing in people and kids that I know already, but don't talk to me. And I help you build the club. It doesn't make sense. You know, there has to be a respect that is given to people. Don't forget that. That's the most important part. It's not only a game, it's life. The kids have to learn how to grow, how to learn how to be motivated, how to have confidence in themselves, how to know what they can and can't do, and have to learn how to work hard. And that's what it does for me. You know, it keeps me young. You know what I'm saying? Man. So I'm grateful for it. I love what we do. You know, a lot of the kids are benefiting right now. I don't want to talk too much about the things that are about to happen because it's not, you know, final. But when it is, you'll see it on our Natural Basketball Academy page on Instagram and Facebook, because we're offering opportunities for the kids that they wouldn't normally get. You know what I mean? The last club that I was in before I moved to Pinneberg was Biggie Vest. And, you know, I don't want to talk bad about them, but a lot of things happened there that wasn't cool. They didn't do things right. So the one thing that I will talk about is the fact that they just leave the kids there and don't do what they need to do to make sure that they have the right coaches, you know? So with me seeing that, I grab certain kids, and the kids I give opportunities to work with me, and they do that. Yeah. So when they get better or switch clubs because the club don't have a coach for them, the club is playing them when they have, you know, Überlastung in like a tendon, you know, like when the tendon is overworked and they need a rest, they play them anyway. Yeah. I'm taking them to the physio. I'm telling them what to do because I had ankle surgery. I know what you need to do. I can take your ankle. I can stretch your ankle. I can give you everything. But when I do this, A lot of people get threatened. They talk bad about me and say I'm this and I'm that because I don't need the help. I don't ask anybody for anything. We don't do that. I work with people that are like-minded and want to be on the same level so we can help each other. This is what it's about.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That makes sense. What you want to add to that, Renee? I tell you what, hold on. Before I let Renee jump in, let me say this, though. You're my man, so, you know, they can talk reckless behind your back or online, but if they run up, they're going to catch these hands, bruh. These hands I got nice. They ain't going to run. That's what they need to do. Stay online with that hate. My bad.
That's the next part about me.
My bad, Renee. My bad. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm very aware of that. I feel like youth sports development is not really good in Germany, especially on a non-professional level. Of course, we have the big soccer football thing here, which is where they put a lot of money into developing new kids, and sometimes they have kids 11, 12 years old that they train every day in those facilities. And I have a different opinion on that, but I don't want to talk too much about that. But in other sports where there's not that much money involved, and in some type of second, third league where we have some semi-professional atmosphere, where we have pros and also some ordinary people who play there, and then they throw the worst coaches ever to the kids. Sometimes they have someone there who is just, I don't know, maybe some guy who's from the community who just wants to make a couple of bucks to just pass time, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And when you have someone in there, and I've seen that so many times through different sports, not only basketball, when you have someone who is actually who has the heart to go through all of those things, to work with the kids, to really develop them and to give them a chance to be a professional athlete maybe someday, you get a lot of hate, not hate sometimes, but I mean, you get the point. Like some type of
jealousy.
They attack you. Jealousy. It's a mix of all of those things.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, in the end, at the end of the day, it hurts. It hurts everyone. It hurts the team, the kids, the coaches, everyone, and no one benefits from that. And it's just very hard to get through that barrier. And as soon as you have some type of environment, there are some cases where it works. Yeah. Like I coach track and field athletes. I work with one club together, and it's perfect for me to work with them. And then it's rolling. It's going on.
Right.
You have when you have good people surrounding yourself, when you have someone who trusts you, and then everyone benefits. And it's so easy to get great things. And this environment is just so important.
Right.
You can have the best system in the world, the best exercises, even the best facility. It doesn't get you anywhere as soon as the environment and the coaches and the community is not there. And that's just so great that you mentioned that, because it's so important. And I think when youngsters in Germany, when you live in Berlin like Joe, or in some bigger city like you in Hamburg, work in Hamburg, or no matter where you are, do not probably go to the best team in the league that is in your area. Probably look for the people there. How do they work?
Right.
Get there, make a tryout, you will learn very fast if these people will want to work with you, or if it's just some type of these bad environments that I just said. And it's a great thing that these things still exist.
It's about people, being critical and asking questions. It's about people understanding what sports is about. Sports at one time in this world united everyone. It gave us something to understand and to learn about each other. And now it's like people lost that. People forgot that. And it also goes to the fact that a lot of coaches don't have the interest or the will to want to work with kids. Like I said, they want the spotlight. A lot of coaches want the spotlight. They want to make as much money as possible. But I've never been like that. People think I get kicked out of places. Some places it has happened because I stood my ground. And other places, like I'm standing my ground. But other places I left. I don't like when I see evil. When I see evil and I see mistreatment, I'm gone. You can keep that. I don't care about the money. I'll go through some problems, whatever. I'll get through it. And people confuse that. So there's this thing about people being afraid of other people knowing how they really feel. I'm the kind of person now that I'm running a business that realize I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to. If you want to know and you ask, I can tell you, but you'll see how I am by how I work. You can watch my practice. I don't have a problem. I'm going to be how I'm going to be no matter who's there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And this allows everyone to get the proper experience. There will always be some people that you might not see, but we treat everybody the same, everybody we love. We want everybody to get the love that should be given from the sport. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing about this. So that's why I'm just like Joe. Like I'm really sensitive, but you can't show this to certain people because they take advantage. And I've been taken advantage of enough. That is not happening anymore. And I don't want to see that happen to any kids that's around me that I can do something about.
I feel that. And let me share this with Renee too, man. Listen, we, you know, I brought my team, my U18 team, man. I took them, Levi had a tournament. He set up a tournament, man. And we went down there, man. We had such a great time. We stayed inside of a international school. And man, it was just, and I tell you, those kids, they, to this day, they still talk about that. They still talk about the great time they had. They still talk about how good of a coach, you know, Coach Levi was. And, you know, and they said, yeah, he's strict. He's strict. I said, yeah, of course. I said, he takes the game serious, you know. I mean, like with me, because, you know, I clown around a lot. I get on them when it's time. But most of the time, you know, just because of my personality, I'm always laughing and joking. And I told them, I said, it's good that you see Levi, because I said, oh, don't get it twisted. Levi's a cool guy. He likes to have fun like everybody else. But when he steps in between these lines, it's a job. There's nothing funny right now. You know what I mean? It's time to play ball. It's time to win. It's time to ball hard. You know, he's going to hold you up to that high standard. And then when you do that, it's going to be all good. And as a perfect example, I'm not going to say the kid's name because I don't want to put him on blast. But one of my players, Renee, he was, you know, Levi was talking and, you know, he was cracking his jokes and, you know, being a goofball like he normally is around me. I let him get away with it, but a lot of times I'll make him run. And as soon as he started it, you know, Levi checked him on the spot like, hey, man, hold on for a second. Listen, my man, we need discipline in your life, bro. You know, it's bigger than basketball. This is something that's going to help you down the line. You know what I mean? This isn't the time to be playing games. And he got it, you know, and he still talks about it. And, you know, we love that dude, man. So, man, salute to Coach Levi, man. He's the man. So all those haters out there, those hating ass, you know, guys who are, you know, hey, man, you know, let me say this, Renee. Man, sometimes, like, I watch, you know, like everybody else, you come on YouTube and you watch some of the workouts that they got these young guys doing, man. And I'm saying to myself, like, man, that dude is about to tear his knee up or this guy,
exactly.
He's going to tear his shoulder. You know, he's going to, you know, tear a rotator cuff or something. Like, they got him doing all these weird things, man, and it's just wild, bro.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is the thing with, you know, the Natural Basketball Academy. You know, my partner is named Torsten Feshner. We founded it together in 2017. And, you know, we work on the, let's say, failures or weaknesses, and we also take it step by step. You, like you said, you got coaches trying to teach kids things that NBA players are doing, and that's not good for the body, first off, because certain parts are not built to be making certain steps that they don't naturally do. You have to train the body first to withstand some of these movements. Even that is bad for the player if they're pro. You see a lot of players now are having Achilles problems.
Yeah.
Because of these types of moves that they're doing, you know, off weird angles. And we're already playing in the game of angles. You don't need to add more weird angles to it and moves that are a waste, you know, which need more dribbles.
And if I might add something to that, because I trained a lot of different athletes as well from different sports, from many different sports. When you have kids, teenagers, you have to give them more freedom on how to move. They will learn their movements on their own. There is no perfect shot and no perfect sprint or whatever. There is no perfect technique in anything. There's always this body, and it needs to have some type of freedom to experience what movements can I do on my own. And that's super, super important, no matter what sport you're doing. And I mean, that fits great into what you just said.
Especially as little kids, you know, because it's like
you did that. You did that on Rucker. Who was or wherever streetball court in New York when you were 10 or 12 years old? Who told you how to move? Who told you how to shoot? You experienced it. You tried it out 1,000 times and then you made it.
Exactly.
Every day.
But then once I got to college, is when they really taught us.
Yeah, but then it's great. When you're older, it's good to have someone who's like, who has the knowledge.
Before then, I didn't have it. Like the street ball moves that we did, the things that I have developed certain twitch muscles just from playing all the time.
Yeah.
You know, certain movements like this, players and people can't do. But I didn't have all the moves and movements properly done from street ball. I literally am still learning and had to learn that through the time, because a lot of the movements that we make as people are wrong due to the shoes, due to the fact that a lot of our hips are not even. So a lot of the things that you do when you play basketball should not make that worse. You should not point your feet in the sideways direction if you're not walking like that. That's not how you want to walk. So if I'm shooting at a target, what I learned when I was young, because when I came up, fundamentals was the key. They used to rank us in New York from 1 to 100. If you didn't have the fundamentals, you don't get ranked. So if you don't have the fundamentals, how can you teach kids to step back? How can they learn that? They have to know the fundamentals first.
Absolutely.
When they learn the fundamentals, now their body grows strong in every position and joint. I have hella problems. Don't get it twisted, because I didn't learn it right. I didn't.
Yeah.
All the movements that I did learn naturally, I didn't learn it right. So now I have ankle problems, back problems, knee problems, elbow problems, shoulder problems.
You learn from it. You learn from it. Levi, thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Great player, great coach, great human. Thanks for sharing all of this with us. And
much love, Levi. Appreciate you, homie.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. I wish you guys a great day.